Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the vlog. New vlog, I guess. We've just arrived at the Grand Canyon National Park. We drove in. Sign said 60-minute wait. 4 minutes later, it said 30-minute wait. 2 minutes later, it said 20-minute wait. It wasn't too bad. It's a Monday morning. I don't even want to know what this place would look like on a Saturday. I think it's just a popular spot because, well, it is one of the most popular national parks in the world.
It's one of the wonders of the world, I think it is.
Is it a wonder of the world?
I think so.
Oh, great, damn, okay. We got a map. It seems like, obviously, it's a large canyon, so you can do a bunch of hikes if you want to, or you can just look at it from the viewpoints. So we don't have much time today, so we're just gonna be checking it out from the viewpoints and maybe do a little bit of a trail. But first, we're having toast. I'm having my classic tomato and pesto toast. Brendan's having his classic smoked salmon toast. We're gearing up. We're gonna go for a little walkie, and then we gotta make soba noodles too for the road. And get driving. Yeah, so let's go see what this big hole is all about. We're actually not going to the Grand Canyon just yet. We are making our lunch first so that when we're done at the Grand Canyon, we can just hit the road and we already have lunch made. So I'm just making our soba noodle situation over here. We've got noodles boiling in the pan. The sauce is delicious. It is 2 parts soy sauce, 1 part sesame oil, 1 part rice vinegar, and then I'm going to do juice and zest of a lemon. And then we're just going to put cucumber and pickled ginger and sesame seeds and like maybe some nuts and stuff in here. And it's so yum yums. Strainer. Grater. Or zester, if you will. And we're going to do cilantro, green onion, cucumber, a little bit of lettuce.
Good yourself? Good. No, we're from Alberta. Oh, nice. Yeah. Long road trip? Yeah.
Gonna do the lemon. Making friends?
Making friends.
I just need to do cucumber, lettuce. Are you cool with lettuce in it, Brendan? Noodles are going in the sauce. Okay, you give this a stir, please. And then we need nuts. You want nuts in it?
I'm good with nuts.
Now this nut mixture is a mixture of peanuts, cashews, and almonds. It was what we had left over in our cupboard at home.
Okay. That's good.
Can I put this stuff in there? Surely. I'll just put it on top and
shake it.
She's getting full. Sprinkle of sesame. Wow, that's a full bowl of noodles.
Full container.
You know what though? We got a big drive and we're not gonna be
stopping to get food or anything.
We're not stopping for nothing. We're not stopping for no one. What do you think, Brendan?
Pretty grand.
Well, guys, here it is, the grandest canyon in all of the lands. The Grand Canyon was built over millions of years of the Colorado River breaking down the rock. It has an average depth of 5,000 feet and is 79 kilometers long. And that's pretty long if you ask me. Brendan and I are just doing the paved rim trail today, checking it out from the viewpoints. Probably for the best because I am terrified of heights, and so I can't even imagine hiking out on one of those ridges. Maybe one day we'll come back for a backpacking trip. Maybe not. Maybe one day we'll come back for a whitewater rafting trip. Probably not. People have also tried to illegally base jump off the side. Would not recommend. You will probably die. Yeah, damn. After exploring the Grand Canyon for a bit, we drove 7 hours and then the rest this morning to get to White Sands National Park, which is where we currently are. We're making lunch. I'm having a burrito. This is one of my favorite ways to make tofu for burritos. I grated it in a cheese grater and seasoned it, and now I'm putting it in my burrito, in case anybody was curious. Now, unfortunately for Brendan, yesterday along the drive, I started to get sick. My throat started to get so sore. Brendan's actually been sick for the last few days because he gets I can tell he gets sick just because he's sniffling. Like, other than that, there's no telling that he's sick because he pretty much just acts the same and does all the same things. But unfortunately for Brendan, I, however, tend to get something that people call a man cold. I am so complaining and I don't want to do anything and I just want to go home. Like, this is why I don't hang out with people when I'm sick, is because I want to like hide in my room and just be depressed in my bed all day. But we can't really do that today because we're at White Sands. Do you have something you want to say?
It's a lot of fun.
Hey,
It's a lot of fun.
Hey, I'm fun most of the time, but now I'm sick. So anyways, we're going to go to check out these white sands as best we can. We actually just went to the visitor center and watched a video that got us amped for it. It was pretty cool. This is pretty cool terrain we're on right here, and I'll tell you about it later. We're going to drive to Santa Fe today because we want to check out Santa Fe. We might just take 2 full 10-hour days of driving and get home on Saturday night so that we have a day before we have to go back to work. That's kind of the new plan. We were going to go to Salt Flats and Telluride. We might still go to Telluride. We might skip Telluride. We're not really sure. Maybe we'll check the weather and see how we're feeling. Okay, babe?
Yeah, we can see how it's going.
But anyways, we're just going to eat this lunch and then we're going to go explore the White Sands. So my burrito's delicious. Thanks for asking. Brendan's making toast. I just wanted to say that we tried this Chipotle almond dip from Trader Joe's. And we just eat it with chips, like a queso. It's smoky and spicy, it says on there, and it's not too spicy though, because I was worried about it being too spicy, and it's actually really good. I like it. I don't think I'd buy it again, but I like it. Well, guys, here we are out in the middle of the sand dunes, the white sand dunes. Hello, everybody. This is Andy here, editing Andy, in fact, with a voiceover because it was extremely windy at the White Sands and you can't hear anything that I'm saying. Before we went on this little walk through the White Sands, we watched a half-hour video that they have at the visitor center to explain why the White Sands came about, basically. So, about 300 million years ago, there was water here. It was actually sea water. It was a Permian sea. And some of the sea creatures had shells that were made out of gypsum, which has created the sand dunes today, because these sand dunes are actually white because they're made out of gypsum. When it rains, the gypsum crystals are brought down into this basin. It's basically like a bathtub, and that's where the crystals end up, and then they get blown around by all this wind, which creates this very fine white sand, hence the sand dunes. Another fun fact that we learned in the video was that about 20,000 years ago, this was a marshy kind of area, and there was 2,000-pound sloths, saber-toothed tigers, and woolly mammoths. It's also very cool that these sand dunes actually only got created in the last 7 to 10,000 years, which is actually a very short amount of time to have such a large change in climate and terrain. And the only other fact that I say in this clip is that there's water actually a few feet below us. The water is kind of acting as a glue, and that's what holds the sand dunes here. Obviously, the top layer often changes and the dunes kind of move around, but if the water were not there, the sand all wouldn't stay in this localized area. I'm way too sick for this right now. I also should have mentioned earlier, there also still are plenty of animals that live here now, but they're much smaller. We've got mice, we've got rabbits, we've got bugs, we've got little wolves or something. And we've got vegetation. I think that the bushes like this, obviously it seems weird that they could stay in the sand if the sand is always moving, but they grab water from underneath the sand and create like a hard pedestal that their roots are stuck in so that they can stay there. And then there's another one called a yucca that grows like a really fast, grows a stem, and then eventually the wind blows it over and there's not enough sand to hold its roots and it just dies. I don't think they last very long. But there's plenty of other little grasses and stuff, and I think that that's all getting rooted in the water underneath. And of course, don't forget the rattlesnakes. There's rattlers out here. Be careful, be cautious, and check your ears and check your eyes for those rattlesnakes. Has anyone ever seen the movie Dune? This is so Brendan's Timothée Chalamet moment. Yes. Look at him go. Out to get himself a sandworm. I'm just sitting here so that he can go on his little walk because I don't want to go. But Brendan told me earlier that it's 275 square miles of sand. And I believe it because there's Brendan in the sand. Then to the left we have people doing some sandboarding, which my friend Kate actually sent me a video of one of her friends sandboarding here, which was hilarious when she was here a few years ago. And then they put a road through it, obviously, that's how we got out here, but sand just as far as the eye can see. And I'll show you on the map later because the area that you can actually go, that you drive on this little road and then go and do the hikes and stuff, is so small in comparison to how much more sand dune there is. And then the lake is like far out in another corner. Like you can't even go to the lake that's here. That's still here. I'm not sure if it dries up in the summer, probably, but when this was the Ice Age times, 10,000 years ago, it was all a giant lake, marshy type land, and Now there's just a small lake with sand. And I think we're gonna do the sunset hike later. There's a sunset hike you can do at 6:30. You go with a guide. It's a guided tour with a guide, and it starts at 6:30. And then by the end of it, you're seeing the sunset, and the sunset here is amazing. Wow, Brendan's really out there now. Do you see him? Wow, he's way out there. Hope he's okay. Oh, he's running up the hill. I did give him a water bottle, so surely he'll survive. Have no fear, Timothy Chalamet is here. He made it back alive.
Pretty steamy.
Pretty steamy.
I would tell you, I'd hate to get lost out there.
I thought you maybe were going to get lost. You were really going out.
I thought I was too there for a minute.
Oh,
I was
okay.
actually turn around. Getting pretty spooky.
Yeah, you went far out.
Everything's just white. White sand everywhere.
White sand everywhere. I'm editing my video.
I need some water. I'm parched.
I sent you with the water bottle. I was looking like a tough hike out there.
I'll take some vids for you, though.
Ooh, thanks.
Don't worry. Cameraman always lives.
Okay.
Cameraman always survives.
We just finished the sunset tour. And good thing we went because we learned a lot. We absolutely loved it. And now we get to see this magical sunrise. Sunset. The sand dunes are turning blue. They're looking absolutely magical right now. I do have some facts that I totally missed that I learned from the tour that I would like to share. When it was a lake, that was about 15, 20,000 years ago, I think. And that was when there was mammoths, the 2,000-pound sloth, and giant bears that are bigger than polar bears. They were 6 feet tall at the shoulder when they're on all fours, and if they stood up on their back legs, they were 10 feet tall. They were called the short-faced bears. Earlier, I was also wondering if the water reaches the humps, like if this is a big pile of sand or if there's also still water in the hump, which there is. So there's a layer of water underneath the base of the sand, but then within the hump there's also water as well. When the mammoths and the saber-toothed tigers and all those things were here 20,000 years ago, they also discovered human prints from 20,000 years ago, embedded in the clay, like fossilized in the clay. That is out on a part that you can't get to because the American Missile Range practices here and they own that part of the dunes. But the scientists get to go out there and explore and look at the footprints and everything. And they discovered a woman's footprints from 20,000 years ago. And they think she was carrying a toddler because it looks like she put them down at one point and there was little footprints next to her. Like they could see all these footprints in the sand, and then they tested it somehow to see that it was from 20,000 years ago, which before they found those footprints, they thought that humans had only been in North America 15,000 years ago. So they were the first humans known to be on North America, which is crazy. And now we're here on this sand. Also, I didn't say earlier, but so they do missile testing out here, but they also do a lot of space exploration out here, testing for space, because these gypsum sand dunes are the same material sand dunes that are on Mars. Did you know that, Brendan? I read it in the visitor center. She showed us the water too. They had dug with an auger so that we could see the water. But the water, you can't drink the water because in the 1800s, they had a really rainy decade here. And so then a bunch of farmers came and they took all the fresh water that would have been at the top and fed it to their cattle and whatnot. And it actually takes a really long time for that water to become fresh again, that top layer. It's like mixed in with all these minerals and bacteria right now. But it would have used to have been fresh water because there used to be native people here as well. They were called the Apache natives. Apache natives, and those natives drank the fresh water. They used to dig holes, and then that was how they would get their water. And they used to live out here before the white men and the ranchers, etc., and now us. But yeah, the sunset is absolutely spectacular. I'm so glad we stayed. Brendan said that this is probably one of his favorite parks we've been to. I think we've been to 11 American parks now.
Bryce Canyon's a close.
Bryce Canyon is a close tie, I would say. Bryce Canyon also is amazing, but this one is like absolutely spectacular, but it's really far down here, so I don't know how many people actually come to this one. I had never heard of it. And we thought we were just going to come and check out a bunch of sand, and then little do we know there's all this cool history here. I also didn't know alabaster was made out of gypsum. She also had said that. So since we stayed here for the day so that we could come and check this out, we actually just posted up by this dirty ass lake that is like the military runoff water or something. You can't swim in it, but it's like this random little lake, and you can camp there too. So we're gonna go camp there tonight. It's only 10 minutes away. But since we stayed here tonight, tomorrow we're gonna have to drive to Santa Fe in the morning, which is a 3.5-hour drive, and then explore Santa Fe tomorrow. So we do have less time in Santa Fe, but I think it might have been worth it. But we're gonna go back. We're gonna enjoy the sunset, then we're gonna go back to the van. Brendan already prepped our sushi bowl ingredients earlier, so we're gonna have sushi bowls for dinners. Yum! Good morning, everybody. Here I am in my pajamas again. The same pajamas for 3 weeks, and I don't give a damn. We're making coffee. We're stopped at a gas station. We've been driving a bit this morning, and by we, I mean Brendan. We're on our way to Santa Fe. We're on our way to Santa Fe. We're really excited. I honestly don't know much about Santa Fe, and I didn't know much. I honestly don't even know if I had heard of Santa Fe, but it's like one of the larger towns in New Mexico, cities in New Mexico. New Mexico has 2 million people. 500,000 of those live in Albuquerque, and another over 200,000, I believe, live in Santa Fe. And it has plenty of Spanish culture, and I think there will be lots of cool buildings to see. Brendan also seems to think that it's a little bit hipstery. We'll see what happens. I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be a cute town, and we're excited to check it out. We're going to go check it out for the day. We're going to go to a brewery, play some crib, you know, do what we do best. I ate a burrito already this morning. It was delicious. So normally we have an AeroPress to make coffee, but this trip we were so unorganized, we actually didn't really check to see if things were in the van. We did a very bad job of being prepared. I mean, it's not like we've been out of tons of things. Like Brendan brought chargers. We just didn't bring a USB charger, only a USB-C charger. There's just a few other things that we forgot that I can't even think of right now. And there's been some hurdles that we've ran into, obviously. But we're still quite prepared. But one of the things we did forget was the AeroPress. And so then we had to buy a new one, but we went to Walmart and it was so expensive. I know they're 30 Canadian dollars anyways, I'm pretty sure, when I bought mine, but it was outrageous. And all in, we would have had to buy filters and the AeroPress, and it was going to be $50 US to buy something we already have at home. And so instead we decided to get a French press, which I also already have one of these at home. We don't really use it at home. I had never really used it. I just got it at the thrift store because I was like, oh, that'll be good to have, and then I never used it. But so we got this one, which is kind of like a mini one. I believe it says it makes 4 cups, which is basically 2 cups of coffee. I think it makes 4 cups of liquid. Oh God. And it comes with a little scoop, which is great. And it's been working out really well. It makes good coffee. I like it. The only thing is that then when you press the thing down, then all the grounds are in the bottom. And so it's a lot harder to clean out than the AeroPress. The AeroPress, you push it down and then all the coffee remains are at the bottom, and so you could just take off the filter and then pop that into the trash and all the coffee filters are in the trash. Whereas this, you end up with quite a watery mixture of coffee at the bottom, which I'm assuming you scoop out into your compost or whatever. We've just been dumping it down the sink because the sink isn't going to get clogged because it's a homemade sink. Or if it did get clogged, I could figure it out. But I also discovered that an AeroPress makes one that makes 2 cups of coffee. So I would like to eventually get that one, because currently with our AeroPress, I would have to make 1 cup for me and then make another cup for Brendan, which is fine, but just takes longer. Whereas with this thing, it's been nice because we can just make both cups of coffee in one go. And we're drinking Rosso coffee, baby, the best coffee in the world. If you're ever looking for the best coffee in the world, it is Rosso. Not this particular one. I actually love all of them. I've tried many of them. We love Rosso. We're gonna dump 2 of these in here. 2 scoops of coffees. And I'm still sick and whiny, but I am feeling better. I feel like at this point in the sickness, it could either get worse or it could get better, and I'm really hoping that it just goes on the incline. So I need to make sure I'm drinking water and taking care of myself. I'm probably not having a beer today at the brewery, but maybe even the beer will make me feel better. We'll see what happens. Sometimes I like to have a little brewski with my babe, you know what I'm saying? Okay, we're gonna dump this in. This is a kettle. This is a kettle. This is a kettle. In case you couldn't tell, this is a kettle. I actually have never had a kettle that you put on the stove. I've only ever had electric ones. The stove one I think maybe heats up faster, but who really knows? It's good, it's great. We put the coffee in, we put the water in, and we put... This isn't revolutionary. You guys have probably seen one of these before. I just thought it was kind of cool that it's a mini one though, because usually they're quite a bit bigger, I think. And we just do a bit of oat milk in our coffee. Normally we actually do coconut milk. There's cans of coconut milk at Costco. You can buy a 6-pack of coconut milk cans. It's organic and it doesn't have any of the gums and whatever else they put in coconut milk to keep it bound together. It's just pure coconut milk. No added weird ingredients. So we've been liking that one at home, but obviously on the road it would have been really annoying to have to open up a can of coconut milk, pour it into a bottle, do a whole dance here. So we just went and got some of the jugs of oat, because this oat definitely does have all the added bad stuff for you. It's obviously they have to add that stuff though, because when I make almond milk at home, it goes bad in a week. These last forever. They kind of have to do that, but it is unfortunate because it's not good for you. and it's not good for me. A little milky situation. Has it been 4 minutes, do we think? Hopefully we also can get some good Mexican food in Santa Fe. I'm sure we can. We're excited to try some food there. I think we're gonna go out for dinner later. I don't really know what there is to do there, so we're just gonna go explore. Like, I'm sure there's like some cute areas to walk around and stuff. I really like when a town has like a river though, or a lake or something, and you can go and walk along it. But New Mexico has been beautiful so far. There's like some amazing mountains and stuff. Some of the parts actually looked like Africa. It was like crazy to drive through. And then White Sands obviously was amazing. Coffee, we love coffee, we love coffee. I'm gonna be absolutely buzzing after this, mate. In case anyone was wondering, this is how we fill up our water. Grab the jugs and fill them up. There's often spigots at the gas station. If it's non-potable, there'll usually be a sign that says non-potable. But you also can always just go in and ask the people, because they usually know. We fill up our jugs and we're good to go for a few days. And this is our water set up under the sink here. This is the gray water tank with the tube that goes to the gray water. That back there is our 12-volt water pump. And then we just use the two jugs that fit in there, and we put this tube that goes to the pump into the water canister. Hey y'all, it's Editing Andy again. This video actually ended up being 40 minutes long, so we're going to be cutting it into 2 parts. I'm sorry for the abrupt ending here, but I hope you enjoyed coming along to the Grand Canyon and the White Sands. I think the White Sands was actually our favorite part of the trip. It was so amazing. And I might actually upload part 2 on Sunday if I get my chart together. I might do a cheeky little Sunday upload for you. We're going to be checking out Santa Fe and Telluride, and then that is the finale of the van vlogs, so stay tuned. As always, thank you so much for watching. And as always, see you next time. As always, goodbye. We found a stink beetle. They're just coming out for the spring season. This is a stink bug. That's why it has its ass up.